Hey guys, Captain Mike, welcome to Whiskey and Literature. Tonight it's bottle kills. I wasn't planning on doing this video specifically tonight. I was going to do a different one, but I am pretty congested, so I didn't want to drink a bunch of nice whiskeys or anything. So I figured this bottle kill video, I've been kind of saving it to get a couple more bottles, but whatever. We're just going to do it tonight. I think it's pretty interesting to see what guys are drinking when the camera's off. We're going to start with and kill this High West and then get to it. This is a High West from their new Cask collection. I believe the Cask collection came out for the first time in 2022 or maybe 2023. And this is their Cask Strength Bourbon. This is a blend of straight bourbons, and I assumed originally that this was just the same mash bill as their regular bourbon, just a cask strength. But I've seen some reports that that's not the case. The mash bill, unusual for High West, is not posted on their website. It's undisclosed. So I'm assuming this is actually a different mash bill than their regular bourbon. This is bottled at cask strength, 117.4 proof. This is a batched product. So if you're kind of new to whiskey, some of the terms are a little unusual. Batch product just means it's not just one barrel, it's something more than a single barrel, and then they blend all the whiskeys together. And then cask strength just means that they didn't add water, or I think there's a small amount that they can add to make consistent proof levels. Think Rare Breed by Wild Turkey that says it's a barrel strength whiskey, but they're all 116.8. So anyway, this is 117.4. It's a batched product, and it is cask strength, 117.4. Mine batch is 23B21. I came across these in Utah, and originally this really underwhelmed me. But as it's been opening, as I've been drinking it down, and I've really become a fan. And I'm super congested tonight, so we're just gonna go through mostly my notes from drinking this in the past, because I really can't smell anything, and so that means I really can't taste much. But there's a nice burst of citrus, some fruit, apples, spice, oakiness. It finishes nice and long. It's nice in a textured whiskey, nice caramel and spicy finish for me. I think it is a great product. It's definitely I think it's not a wow me bourbon, but it is a solid product with, again, a nice finish, nice texture, I think, because of the proof. The price point, $69.99, and there are quite a few. You can get some cask strength bourbons that are pretty solid for $69.99, but I think this High West product is a pretty good one. Cheers. Man, that proof is really just kind of blowing past my stuffiness. Maybe I should drink more of this. Maybe that would relieve some of my congestion. I'm supposed to go to work today, and I called in sick. Can't go to work. I think it's just allergies right now. It's been super windy here in the Tampa Bay the past few days, and it's just stirring things up, and I know quite a few guys are suffering from allergies these days. But this did a nice job of just kind of blowing past that. Nice on the citrus. It's not overwhelming. The fruits are really nice on there. Man, definitely some oakiness and just a nice spice. I don't know what, again, the mash bill is on this, but I'm assuming we have a high rye bourbon in here, which would be pretty typical for High West. What I am really waiting for from High West, their cask collection, is a cask strength double rye or rendezvous rye. Probably the double rye. And that's the rendezvous rye is already at a price point higher than $69. So if you add a cask strength, it's going to be a pretty high price. But double rye cask strength, $69. Sign me up. Again, I just killed this bottle. I did buy 3 at the same time, same batch. So I'm excited to have 2 more of these in my house. Okay, on to the already emptied bottles. If you enjoy the video, like it, it's free. And I'd be interested to know what bottles you have emptied lately. Let us know in the comments section below. So first up, I've got a friend who's a big Jim Beam fan. We made a video together earlier last year, and I realized that I didn't have any of the basic Beam products in my house. So I went out and bought all of them: Devil's Cut, Double Oak, Extra Age. I didn't have any white label in my house. And so I had my first pour of the Jim Beam Double Oak last year. And honestly, my opinion is, if you're gonna drink any of the basic Beam bottles, you should just get the Double Oak. It has to be the best of all those bottom shelf Jim Beam products. It is a solid pour, especially for $19.99. Jim Beam Double Oak. We have another Jim Beam product. This is the Jim Beam Pre-Prohibition Rye. This is a Kentucky style rye. Definitely not an MGP 95.5 rye. This Jim Beam rye and its cousin, the Knob Creek rye, are the bottles that I suggest to people when they ask me, hey Captain, I've been drinking bourbon or whatever for a very long time. I'd like to try a rye. What rye should I get to try? And I say, get the Jim Beam Pre-Prohibition Rye. Now, if you're in my house and you want to try a rye, you're getting the High West Double Rye, because I'm just giving it to you. But if you want to buy a bottle and you're not so sure on it, maybe I play it a little bit safe and I say, go get the Jim Beam Rye and take it to your house. It's kind of like a nice gateway rye. It's just soft and it's adequate, it's nice, and it's kind of an entryway into the world of rye for those people who've been drinking bourbon for their entire life. And it's definitely a nice product for $19.99. Okay, so on to the next one, and we have two of these. And you're gonna say, oh my gosh, Captain, he likes the Traveler. Nope, I don't really like the Traveler. I've been buying better whiskeys, typically Sazerac products, in bundles lately. We have a certain retailer here in the Tampa Bay that's been having, I think, pretty good bottles. And I know that what happens is his distributor says to him, hey, would you like to sell a bunch of Stag or Blanton straight from the barrel? And he says, well, of course I would. I'll take 10 cases of it. I can sell those in half a day, no problem. And the distributor says, fine, you want 10 cases of Stag? You have to get 20 cases of Traveler. So then he puts, out on the Facebook that he's got a decent price on that Stag or whatever that product is. And with that comes 2 Travelers. So I actually have 7 bottles of Traveler at my house. It's not awful, but this is not a go-to pour that I'm going to look for. This is the bottle that I reach for after I've had a pour or two of the good stuff. Or maybe I just want something a little easy for the evening and I mix it into some Coke. On the plus side, it is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see through the bottle there. It's got a nice map there, and that's Kentucky. I can see Lexington's just kind of to the center and left, so it has the Buffalo Trace area there just to the right. Definitely not a bottle that I'm just going to buy by itself, especially for the listed MSRP of $48.99. No way I'm buying the Traveler for $48.99. I have seen it as low in some retailers at $25. But even $25, I'd rather buy the Jim Beam Double Oak, $19, save $6. But, I get if you're a fan of Chris Stapleton, if you're a big Buffalo Trace fan, and you feel like you've got to try it at least, you know what? Go buy a bottle. Try and find one for $25, and then call it good. This next one is also a bottle that I wouldn't have bought on its own. Also in a bundle. This also, and there's a bug inside the bottle. This is also a Sazerac product, white cognac. Now, we don't drink a lot of cognac in our house, and this certainly isn't a bottle that I would have just, gone to Total Wine or somewhere and picked up. But this was in a bundle. I have 2 bottles because I think it was the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof came with 2 of these white cognacs. And guess what? I'm a fan of this. It's a pretty decent pour. I like this neat, or even better, put it over some ice with some ginger ale. Sign me up. That was pretty good. But you know what? I am not going to purchase this again when it's empty. You know why? The price is $58.99. I don't buy enough cognac to know if that's a good price or not. I don't really think cognac as being white, but it was a white cognac, and I thought it was decent, but I am not going to rebuy this for $58.99. Okay, last bottle of the night, and this was a recommendation to me from a subscriber. Very early in the channel, a subscriber suggested I get Pendleton Rye. And man, what a beautiful looking bottle. I don't know if you can see the glasswork there. I think it looks great. This is a Canadian rye, 100% rye, 12 years old. It's the 1910. MSRP is $48.99. And when I first opened this, I thought it was a pretty good pour, and I enjoyed it. But as I got deeper into the bottle, it just kind of appealed to me less and less. Honestly, as I tried more and more ryes, this was pretty early last year, as I tried more and more ryes, the sweetness of this Pendleton 1910 just turned on me. When you think of a rye, you don't think of what's in here unless you drink a lot of Canadian ryes. The rye was much less spicy. It's a very fruity product. It's just this kind of sweetness that I'm not looking for when I'm drinking a rye. They did recently have one of their ryes, I think, or a Pendleton whiskey. It might have been like a 21-year-old, and I hemmed and hawed and thought about it, but I went ahead and passed on that. I do have 2 Canadian whiskeys I've just picked up. We recently were in Niagara Falls, picked up a bottle there, and I bought the lot 40. Haven't opened them yet and to review them, but most of the Canadian whiskeys have been leaving me wanting something. I don't know what it is. Very few Canadian whiskeys have really done it for me, and the Pendleton is not going to be a rebuy for me. So we have a few bottles here. Of course, I already have 2 more of the High West. I already have another Double Oak. I already have another rye. I have lots of Travelers, but not because I want them. I'm not going to rebuy those. The white cognac I thought was pretty good, but for $58.99, I'm not going to buy that again. And the Pendleton is also going to be a pass for me of these bottles. So I find that I don't actually finish a lot of bottles. I tend to nurse the bottles that I really like just that little bit. I mean, this sits in there for a long time, especially on those bottles that I know I can't replace, or it's very difficult to replace. I just kind of nurse them for a long time. I need to do better at that and kind of cycle this stuff through the house a little bit more, but it is what it is, to be honest with you. So again, I'd be really happy to hear what you guys are drinking right now and what bottles you have killed. But that's it for tonight, guys. And if you've enjoyed the video, again, like it, subscribe to see more of my content and all of that jazz. But for now, I hope you're reading something good and drinking something great. Turn the page, my friends, stay thirsty. Cheers.